For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. For the last few weeks, everyone has been observing and entertaining and back and forth between the country's biggest rappers as they take turns throwing insults at one another via their own diss tracks. Earlier this year, Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj would drop diss tracks coming at each other, and now everyone's impatiently waiting for Kendrick Lamar to respond to Drake's latest pair of disses. Some are even crediting Katt Williams for determining the tone for 2024. Now, if you remember Katt Williams' viral interview on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay podcast that now has over 66 million views. The interview featured the comedian airing his grievances with his peers, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, Ricky Smiley, and Cedric the Entertainer. For a brief period, Club Shay was known for inviting veteran comedians from the Def Jam era to speak on what's been bothering them. Now, many would even point to Katt's famous words during the interview. All of these deviants is catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It doesn't matter if you're Diddy, TD Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed, and anyone who takes the wrong way knows why they take it the wrong way. Today on the show, we have our very own John Abba to talk about Katt Williams setting the tone for 2024.
Ooh, yes.
Now, this is from the people. I want to make sure it's very clear. A lot of people are saying that they feel Katt Williams set the tone. He's the reason for all these beefs in music and comedy and all these places. I'll start with that question. What's your reaction? Do you think Katt is to blame for what we're seeing?
I think the moment Katt created is to blame, but maybe not Katt himself. The moment was getting on Shannon Sharpe's podcast and showing people how you can get a crazy amount of views and be able to get your brand rolling and kind of re-energized, because right after that, he started selling out tours. So he kind of gave people like, hey, this is a blueprint that can work. If you kind of let the clip loose, say what you feel, say what you're thinking, give your truth. Some people say it as truth. Then, I mean, these are the results. And I think some people carried that out. And we kind of expected that too. Like, particularly in our space, we felt like some comedians were now going to knock on our door to be like, hey, well, let me go tell you about so-and-so. Because again, the whole game plan for a lot of people when they upload content, they're trying to go viral. They're trying to get their views up. And I think a lot of times when you see an example, it is monkey see, monkey do culture. And in this case, I think people saw, Katt do something really, really cool and say, you know what, I can do the same thing in my own way.
Let me ask you, do you think the back and forth that we're seeing, first it was in comedy, now we're starting to see it in music, do you think it's good for the culture? Because I've seen that debate as well.
There's perspective on it. I think it's great for the culture from a lens of if it stays in the arts. Like, one thing I wish that comedians would do is that they would like take their issues with each other to the stage and do some jokes about it. That can kind of elevate the sport of comedy. And so for the rappers right now, we're talking about Drake, we're talking about Ross, we're talking about Kendrick. We would have been talking about J. Cole.
Wait a minute. Don't do that.
We would have been talking about J. Cole.
Don't do that
and
now.
We could talk about that too, but I think that could have been, I think it's great. It's getting people excited. I'm like listening to maybe artists that I wasn't really checking for just to see what they got to say. Yeah. So that's just always been, that's just how we're triggered. I think we've talked about this internally too, of like why we kind of gravitate towards more negative type of content. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I definitely wouldn't blame Katt overall. I don't think you can bring anything out of anybody that's not already in them.
I can see that.
I wouldn't say a person is responsible for anything. I feel like going viral has just become more popular because of the YouTube space, and now people are able to make money off of it. But it's always been a thing, even when you go back before TikTok and all these things, the Vine, and everybody was going viral and all these things. But I think what Katt did was groundbreaking, and it did open a portal. And I want to bring up a headline where it was something positive that happened, but there was a negative headline, and we actually just pushed out a news break on it as well with DC Young Fly, where it was the end of his set, and he was going into like a prayer or like he does like some type of sermon moment. But the way that it was pushed online was like, hey, DC was booed. It made you just think like his whole set was. What were your thoughts when you did see that kind of coming through the channel?
I mean, that's just how we're kind of programmed. It's interesting from our lens because sometimes we get called out for the headlines that we push, but a lot of times it's like, I don't know if it's like negativity is like align with truth. Like it feels more real when it's like coming from a negative place.
Yeah.
And that could be some type of subconscious thing going on with us. And I think for the viewers at home watching this, it's like, what is it about like negative comments?
Yeah.
Cause like y'all will leave some comments even, you know, in our videos.
And people
I go right past all the positive stuff. Yeah. But let me zero in on this negative comment.
Yeah.
And I think we all collectively do that when we're sharing stuff. I just wonder what that is. I think what was the term?
So there was a book that I read, and it talked about negativity bias. So your brain is hardwired to have that for like survival. So, you know, in the case that I need something around me, I'm going to pay attention to the negative things so I can protect myself. So it's, but we see like media, the news, they kind of use that as like that bait to get you in. I think one of the articles that we read talked about like if it's a sunny day report compared to like a thunderstorm coming through, you're going to look and see how the thunderstorm is going to impact you more than just like, oh, I'm going to have a nice sunny day. So your brain goes to it. But yeah, I think that's just a base level, but it just seems to be so many layers of like, I need it's like people love it.
Something about like clashing fights. You look at stuff online and you just look at like the tone of a lot of stuff that draws our attention. You know, like I'll see something on my timeline, I'll stop. Like, right now, they're not even censoring half of the things they used to censor before. Like I'm seeing people get shot, killed, beat up, jumped, stabbed, all of that. And you're stopping watching these things. Now, I try to block my spirit from consuming too much of that.
Absolutely.
So I'm very mindful of that. And, you know, I would recommend others doing that because I don't think that we should, you know, be consuming some of the things that we currently have access to. And I remember back in the day, like I even feel like the news has kind of changed too. Like they wouldn't show certain things on TV to protect you. Now they're just probably understanding that, you know, we're gravitating towards these things.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to where we're at, but I don't know where that says about our future.
I was going to ask, do you think there'll be a cycle of like where they kind of, because I feel like it has, like you said, it's increased more. I don't know if that's because of social media, being able, you know, people free will and want to Twitter. Now you can go in there and freaking see porno and you don't even have to be following it. Do you think we'll kind of get out of that ever, or do you think it's just going to keep getting worse as technology is more advanced and it's easily accessible?
It probably will always be there because, you know, we all are different people. I'm more so concerned about like my children and what does that tone look like for them? Because you and I, we're going to eventually get older, and all of us watching, we'll get older. So whatever we're feeling right now will not necessarily be the thing, but it's like, where the kids coming up, what are their energy going to be on? Is it going to be like this utopia that I sometimes wonder if that's our goal? So utopia in terms of like, we're all living in peace, everyone's elevating, everyone's drinking tea, we like all cool, there's no war. Like, is that the goal? And is that even a possible goal? Because I think that, man, this has been going on for centuries.
Yeah.
Barbarians, Vikings, Zulu warriors, people have always been in conflict. So I don't want to be naive and think like, okay, it's going to end at a certain point when it's been going on for so many years in terms of history.
Yeah, I think there just has to be a place where you take responsibility, kind of like what you said about like not just being mindful of what you're taking in, because whether you believe it or not, like it impacts you as a person. It's settling in on you. So
well, I think I mean I have I kind of have a perspective on some of the content that we do consume. I wonder, does it impact us socially and how we engage with one another, how we treat each other, how we choose to respond? I do think it could have effects to that extent. I'm also, if I'm being very sincere, negativity or things that I mentioned can be entertaining. And I think there is a truth to that. Because honestly, I don't know if I would want to see just like everything is great. I know it sounds crazy to say that, but
you want to see all, because I mean that's not life, that's not reality. All things aren't perfect.
Because even think about America's Funniest Videos. That was a negative moment for, you don't remember that?
No, I do. I said I do. I used to love America.
Okay, that was a negative moment for that person that fell off the bike.
Okay. I was about to say negative.
It's man collides into wall is a negative headline, but we laughing at home about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to know if I want to see all positive, and that sounds crazy to say that.
Yeah.
But I think there needs to be definitely a healthy balance, and we need to be able to, kind of keep some things on art. But it's a crazy time, and I'm trying to be authentic because y'all know I'm big on that, especially my team here, that, yeah, sometimes you do want to see something go down.
For sure, yeah.
You know, but at other times, I don't know if we need to consume our lives.
All that meant. So let me ask you this as we wrap up, and then I want to go into some positive things that we have going on. As you look at the art of comedy, and I want to stay in our realm, because I know people are talking about like the rap, rap beats.
That's always been a thing too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's always, but for comedy, where do you see, what we've seen with the Katts and the just people talking about comedy more? Where do you see that taking the art?
I think it's been great for comedy. That's why I said, earlier, it's like as long as it stays there, I don't need, like, we've had some comedy dramas in the past where comedians put hands on other comedians.
Yeah.
We've seen that, we've covered it, that didn't get a lot of national or international recognition. So I think there's been good things coming from it. I think comedians are now being able to be seen as serious people. Because a lot of times I think the audience used to look at comedians like clowns and just like, okay, do your joke and leave. I also think that there has to be, a perspective of how do we make it work for the culture. I think I'm becoming really big on that in terms of system building. Like I've said this before on this show, we need to navigate to create the systems. A lot of times we as Black folks and others, not just us only, but a lot of times it's us, we are the system players. Like we'll be a part of a system, we'll help a system, but we don't create the systems. And I think for the comedy game, we gotta create a system that it can help build it. And so I will mention the system that we tried to attempt, which was we tried to do a comedic version of Versus.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the comedians are now, but at the time we were trying to do it, it was a little taboo because they didn't want to compete. Not gonna name names, but there were comedians that were, it might not have been a good look if they would have lost.
Got you.
But I'm big on competitiveness, and I understand what that could do for the culture. It's just gonna make people rethink about it. So
and
who
go
knows?
Back and
Maybe that's something we can do for this upcoming announcement that we're just about to make too, which is Hypers Club.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something we could do at Hypers Club, and we're gonna talk about that a little bit more. But as far as the game of comedy, man, I think that it's good. It's good to be competitive. I think that drives industry. We love competing. I got different people I compete against with in my head. So with that being said,
it's the dramatic pause. Okay, well let's go with two because we both have on Hypers Club shirts. So
right, Hypers Club.
I want to go into that. Tell us a little bit about, because last week I couldn't say anything yet. But officially,
we can talk about Hypers Club. I told y'all in the last one that there was a teaser. If you watched the Damon Wilson interview, I was wearing the Hypers Club shirt. Hypers Club is our newest initiative, and honestly, I think it's the future for our company. This is our way to engage you, the viewers at home, the ones that live in Atlanta, people that want to come and create. This is the moment. We've been on YouTube for quite some time, and we still haven't met damn near 95% of y'all. I have not met you in person, but I want to start meeting you in person. I want you guys to be able to get in tune with who we are. So Hypers Club is a membership platform that's going to allow three different things, right?
Okay.
One is for people that are watching us on YouTube, you can now have more content. So we've been doing some behind the scenes content. We've put some things in a portal there that you can be able to watch full interviews. So a lot of people that are going to get the hype passes, the digital pass, you'll be able to see the interviews first, the full interviews first. So for instance, the Damon Wilson interview is dropping tomorrow, but it's dropping first at Hypers Club. Those are who are going to be able to see it first, and then we'll figure out a date to later release it. You will see an announcement being made on YouTube, but you only will get the teasers. To watch the full thing, you got to tap into Hypers Club. And I do think the pricing is affordable. You can cancel at any moment. It's not nothing to push you, but I honestly think by giving our company the opportunity and building with us and say, hey, y'all, we want to start putting some more revenue into your company by supporting it in this way or activating it, I guarantee you I will not disappoint you. Yeah. We will not disappoint you. We've been doing this for a large amount of time, and I think the things that we've been wanting to do, we're going to be able to do that, but it's going to come through your support, you guys wanting to engage with us, challenge us. This is a relationship that we're creating now with you and that we don't take for granted.
Absolutely. Now, what's the second one? So that's the digital pass.
Yeah. Digital pass, and you have Club Pass. Club Pass is for all my Atlanta viewers. All those that live in Atlanta, we have the Hyper Clubhouse, which we film our content out of, and we do Hype Mic out of, as well as other events. If you have a Club Pass, you'll have access to those events, as well as what comes with the Digital Pass. Yeah.
And then number 3.
The Creators Pass. That one, you know, is really awesome to be able to offer that opportunity because at our space is where we were able to grow as a company. The Creator Pass is access to our creator studio, which gives people the range of being able to shoot a podcast in there, hold a meeting, do a photography photo shoot. Whatever you feel you can utilize that space for, it is yours, and it's in Atlanta at our Hyper Clubhouse. It is our first studio that we've ever had. So these are like the stories that we're trying to create, and by being a member of Hypers Club, you're gonna push the story forward. I just look forward, like a lot of the content that's out here is cool, but just imagine if you kind of, you know, double down your support with us and see the cool things that we can create. And I don't want to say support like you just doing it because you just to do it. It's doing it from a level of, oh man, y'all been proving yourselves over the last few years. Y'all done great work. Y'all done great interviews. I want to see more of that. So I hope that you guys can really, I'm really asking, you know, to kind of like back up some of the things that we've done. And I'm trying to scale this company to become hopefully a corporate giant that can employ more of us. So these are the visions that we're after, and we just want to create great content. So if the content's not great, you know, I guarantee I'll make it great. So with that being said, this is the future. This is the flag that we're pushing. This is Hypers Club, which is hype is helping your people elevate. So these are this is our motto. This is our energy about keep going and pushing people forward.
Absolutely, and shout out to all the people that's already signed up because I know we have people that are already a part of the club.
Yes, we do. We got one in the studio right now.
Yes, we do.
Shout out to, can I say your name? Shout out to Jamal. I didn't want to put nobody on
No,
front
but gotta
street.
make sure.
Some people be, you know, moving around. I don't
and keep that in so we can make, that's your digital signature right there.
So shout out to Jamal. It's just dope to see people a part of the space. And these are things that we want to make you feel like you're part of our family. Man, Symphony, we've been doing this for years. So just imagine the amount of people that we can hopefully bring in our tribe and really do some cool things. I want to do travel groups. I want to go see the world with y'all. Like, y'all always talking about traveling. We definitely going to do a Tulum stop.
Oh my God.
That's where we're going to huddle up.
You the reason why Tulum is expensive. Just
why?
To be clear, because I feel like after you start running Tulum up, everybody start running
I'll
to
be
Tulum.
low in Tulum. I'll be low. I'll be with the locals.
The locals are spreading the word.
They know me.
And now it's expensive.
El Papi.
Okay, Lil Papi. Well, anything else before I let you go back to Tulum?
Yes, and you know, we got a lot of things going on. Shout out to Hype Mike, which is every Monday night here at the Hyper Clubhouse. Be sure to come out. If you're a Hypers Club member, you have access for free to that. So check out hypersclub.com. Make sure you guys are tapping into that. And of course, we have the hypemarket.com, which is our hub for brands and businesses to showcase what they have going on. We're a little bit more hands-on with our approach to it. So one, I want to go ahead and feature our product of this week, which is Teddy Makes Sense.
I love that.
Yep. And we actually featured it before. Yeah, it's written by author Thomas E. Deere III. It's a brother that, you know, wanted to teach children financial literacy. You know, I just recently had a new child, and these are things that I will be trying to get in front of them because, you know, it's a lot of stuff. We talked about it today about the type of content that we're all consuming.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, with our kids, this is like Big Worm.
Yeah, it is. That's dope. That's what I was showing.
That is big.
It is, with the ice cream truck and everything.
Faison. So we got Faison in the kids book, but, you know, this is dope. You know, I did glance through this in terms of like a story about, you know, but rich with meaning. Teddy's a third grader who lives in a community-friendly town where love, humanity, and life lessons are taught. The biggest lesson Teddy learns is money and financial responsibility. Yeah. So this is really, really cool because, you know, and being sincere, you know, a lot of times we're seeing a lot of money come in and we don't know what to necessarily do. I know that I have to retrain my own habits when it comes to influx and money coming in. So, you know, to be able to teach the kids young, this is why I think this is really, really fly. I wish that, you know, maybe I had a Teddy Makes Sense book when I was a kid and know that. Because I be thinking too, I know I'm kind of saying a lot. I used to think, have we all maybe touched $1 million at a certain point in our lives?
That's a great question. I mean,
like
I guess
all the money that we've made.
Ever touched in life? Or just like when you started making money?
And yet I think that we all, so I think about those things like, damn, what if I like would have had a game plan to save a little money over all the years since I've been working since I was like 16, 18. If I would have tucked it to the side, who knows if I might have been retired.
And even just the money that your parents could have had stacked up for you just by putting a little bit in an account that kind of
And it's just that
help your money make
discipline,
money.
man.
Yeah.
Like, it is not fun. I don't know why we be wanting to spend that right away. As soon as
It's
I
not
get a little
easy.
change in my pocket, I want to go get some sushi and sake
Ball out.
and ball out. And
Saloon.
all that being said, I think this is the right direction for the content that we need to be going towards. Shout out to, you know, Thomas Deere for making this happen. And again, you'll see his product on the Hype Market, as well as go ahead and get your own copy now at dreambigpublish.com. And yeah, you know, continue supporting great products like this.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love when kids, especially when you can be able to see yourself in the story.
Right.
I think that's so important as a kid, like to be able to think of yourself as Teddy and you know whoever else is in the book as well. So yeah, no, shout out to Thomas and what they're doing over there. But thank you so much for joining me on this topic. You heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts? Do you think Katt Williams is to blame for all the beef that's happening in 2024? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
And lastly, just check out hypersclub.com. Just check it out. Just take a look at it and let me know what you guys think in the comments, all right?
Absolutely.
See y'all then.
We'll see you in the comments. What's up, family? It's Symphony Thompson, the official host of the Comedy Hype News Show Late Night, and I'm here because I have some extremely exciting news to share. We are officially launching a club. Yep, that's right. And this club is exclusively for our loyal watchers, event goers, and debaters, known as Hypers Club. As a member, you will receive access to never release interviews, original content, behind the scenes with myself and our team here, and even access to a community of other hypers who are looking to build. For those in Atlanta, if you're an entrepreneur, podcaster, content creator, or just someone who is looking for a dedicated space to hold your next meeting, then this next part is just for you. You will get free access to events, discounts on merchandise, exclusive content that I mentioned earlier, and access to our creator studio for all your content needs. So, memberships are officially open and you can start by joining hypersclub.com to sign up and become a member of our club. I'm in the club and I hope you join us.